Hey everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Whole Package by Premier Packaging. I am your host, Billy Watkins, and my guest today is Jessica Anderson.
Hello.
Hello, Jessica. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Nice to see you.
Absolutely.
We were chatting a little bit. This thing should have happened if flights had worked out. We should have been doing this a year ago.
Yes.
But here you are now.
Here I am.
So better late than never, right?
Right. Absolutely.
You're a supply chain specialist with Premier, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, where you're from, where you went to school, all that fun stuff.
All the fun stuff. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. I moved to Florida at 17 years old and decided to go to college down there at FAU. Spent some time down there and then moved up to Orlando after college, and that's where I've spent most of my years.
So yeah, you've been in Orlando for a while, and that is where you're based out of for Premier, right?
Yes, which works out great.
You're right now you're our only salesperson in a large,
yes,
bustling state. How's that go?
It's great being in the middle. It gives me the opportunity to be able to pretty much be anywhere within like a 4-hour radius. So that's been a very convenient.
You are centrally located.
Yes,
for
absolutely.
Sure. What drew you to sales?
Well, it's interesting. When I was a little girl, I wanted to make some money, and I was about 8 years old, and I went around and asked people if I could mow their lawns, and that's kind of where it all started.
Yep.
I would go door to door and just ask them for $10 to mow their lawn.
Did you do the mowing, or did you outsource that? Or?
Well, eventually I outsourced it to my friends because I was so busy.
Perfect.
That business was, thriving. So I was able to get my friends in the neighborhood to help me out. But yes.
So then you started brokering lawn care.
Exactly.
I like it. So it's been with you for a while. You've been at Premier with Premier for couple of years, 2 years,
3 years. This is my
third year. Before that, what you were an account manager, a CS manager, a territory manager, and even a recruiter for like IT and engineering positions.
Yes.
Give me a little, not too much detail of the company or anything,
sure.
But what was that like?
So when I first moved to Orlando, I went into a split desk is what they call it, so recruiter and sales, and I was able to work with IT and engineering companies on the staffing side, but it was a lot of behind the desk, not seeing customers as much as I would have liked. So then that kind of led into other opportunities going forward. As far as recruiting, I actually had someone contact me in the construction arena to become a recruiter for them, and then it just kind of, somebody oh, you would be really great at this or really great at that. So, it just kind of evolved into different positions, and here I am in packaging. So.
How have you what's the kind of through line from what you were doing to packaging? What skill sets are the same, and then what's been the learning curve for you with packaging?
Mm-hmm. I would say that doing the IT and engineering and then moving into construction, I worked a lot in the industrial arena.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of commercial projects. I had sold concrete. After staffing, I had sold concrete. And so I was always in the industrial area and, from the beginning to the end, to completion of the project. And so I do feel like that kind of is a good leeway into the packaging because I'm used to going and talking to people,
right.
and then in industrial areas and kind of comfortable with that. And then I think that I don't know really how it correlates necessarily, but I just feel like that's the type of environment that I like and I felt most comfortable. So I felt like that it would be a good, start, a new beginning for me.
Are you surprised? Tell me if I'm wrong here, because a lot of packaging sales, a lot of customers have warehouses. Is it a lot of walking? Do you find it's a lot of walking? Is that a dumb...
If you park and walk, I know, but
it depends on where you park and where
you park. Right. No, but even once you get into the warehouse, what's really great now is everyone has a golf cart. It seems like you go in, and if you're doing a tour or something, a lot of times they'll
take you out in the golf cart,
either a golf cart or like a little vehicle of some sort. I don't know.
Damn.
And they'll go
Yeah.
around. Yeah.
I haven't gotten the golf cart. The bicycles. You ever get the? Do you ever
Oh.
see the tricycles that they have in
No.
warehouses? Yeah.
I
Maybe
haven't
they
seen
don't
that.
do that a lot anymore. I don't know. So a moderate amount of walking.
Yes, I definitely
Park
do
smart.
some. Yes, exactly.
And
Park
ask
smart.
for the golf cart.
Yeah.
So, what do you as a supply chain specialist? Let's unpack that a little bit. What do you actually do for Premier?
Okay. I mean, I think it's, say a sales position, even though I know it's a supply chain specialist, so it's actually, a sales position. But basically just, cold calling, or whether it be, walking inside of, in the back door, of a building, or if it's cold calling on the phone, or it's getting referrals from customers, getting warm leads, and then being able to, once you are in, being able to create the relationships, with the people in the warehouse. Usually that's what it is. It's most of the time in a warehouse. And then just trying to sell whatever it is that I feel that they need, by observing and doing, assessments and going in and just trying to create that relationship, not necessarily going in to sell anything, but just learning more about what they do to see if there's anything that we can, help them with.
It's a lot of listening.
A lot of listening.
What's the worst? There's got to be a good and a bad to it. What's the worst thing about cold calling? I mean, just the potential.
Yeah, the rejection. Yes,
right?
The no. But I think that you learn at a young age, if you've been in sales for a long time, that every no will lead to a yes eventually.
Yeah.
So I think if you can overcome that and know that people are not going to be nice and people are going to say no a lot, and you don't necessarily have to give up, because no doesn't always mean no.
Right.
When it comes to sales, no means no for right now, and then if you can maybe continue to just kind of check in, and you may hit them on a day that their packaging company didn't deliver.
Right.
So
yeah.
I think that you never give up. You're not someone that's annoying and on them at all times, but you definitely are, keeping that relationship kind of, warm.
Yeah, I like it. What do you think successful keys to being a good salesman? What would you say? What are some of the high notes?
I think that from beginning to end, it's all about relationship, meaning relationship with a customer, relationship with other people that you work with in different departments, being able to, just be present, answer the phone, return the emails. I think that there's just staying positive, being a listener, like you said, just making sure that you're always listening to what the customer is saying, and not listening, but really taking in account all the little details.
And you're saying, it's a kind of a holistic relationship thing, like you just said. It's not just the customer; it's other salespeople, it's other departments in Premier. It's having those relationships as well.
And vendors, you also want to have it with vendors. Considering we can manufacture a lot of things, but since we distribute for a lot as well, I think that gaining relationships there is very important. And then also, I've also worked with, companies that we work with, but then they cannot sell them packaging. So they would like for us to, go in with them and creating that relationship together, which I find, very interesting. And
it is a buzzword, or it gets thrown around. And the relationship thing, we're not talking about you're not going to people's houses for Thanksgiving, but it's a professional relationship where it's
getting to know them. Yeah. It's, and it's the little things for me. And I don't know if this could be a good thing or a bad thing, but it's getting to know if they're married or if they have family, or just the little details about them, what they may even like to eat or drink, or just kind of observing those kind of connections, so that when you go in next time, you can be like, you can just use that as a reference of, oh, how's your wife doing? Oh, does she have the baby? Right. Or, whatever the case may be.
So touch points like that, but then it's also like you kind of have to know know their business as well as they do, right?
Yes,
That's a tall order, I would say.
I hope you know it inside and out to a certain degree.
Right.
You're not going to know everything, so they're not going to share everything with you. But I do feel like it's important to know beginning to end. It's not just like, oh, you go in one time and you have one item that you're selling to them and you never continue that relationship trying to, add other items or maybe get to know their company on a different level. Yeah.
What do you do when the no's can eventually become yes? But what do you do just in terms of how do you pick yourself up when you just don't make the sale?
I really don't have a hard time with the no. I don't know. It's just, I just say, okay, it's no for right now, and I try to stay positive. I'll also call other sales reps and go, oh man, let me tell you what happened today. Would you have done anything differently? Because I think that you can work as a team to be better, and they can, and hopefully they're going to be honest with you and say, you know what, maybe you could have done this, or maybe you can go back another time and do it this way. And it's like, oh, that's been very, very helpful for me.
Perseverance.
Absolutely.
Right? What are our customers wanting right now? Is it? Do you see any particular thing, or is it all over the place?
It is kind of all over the place. I do see the customers that I'm working with now are wanting more customization, having their name on everything, even if it's very small. It just seems like the customization is been very big, even if it's just on the inside of the box versus the outside of the box, because a lot of time, packages are stolen from a front door or something like that. Right. But it is that opening experience for their, the aesthetics and stuff in the opening experience for their customers. So I find that is one. Another one would be automation. People are starting to ask more questions about automation to be able to, have their company, thrive in different areas and be able to, focus on maybe adjusting their labor into other areas in their company by being more efficient.
And do you think you're well positioned and able to offer those things for them?
I think that we have a great support system.
Yeah.
So yes, I know that I can pick up the phone as soon as I leave and call one of our packaging specialists or our automation specialists and say, hey, what would you recommend for this? This is what the customer is looking for. Mm-hmm. And it's teamwork. So, and that luckily we have such a great team when it comes to that.
Are they, are customers used to it, surprised by it, annoyed by it, or just open to it when we talk about like the assessments, that sort of thing?
It can be tricky.
Okay.
Sometimes they're like, well, we'll get there.
Because of the involvement or the time it takes, or what is their reticence to it, I guess?
I think that it is the time that it takes.
Okay.
I think that
so it's a fairly involved process.
It is very involved, yes, because it's from beginning to end. It's from the front, of the warehouse to the back, everything in between, inbound, outbound, in every position really across the board. You kind of really want to do a true full assessment of how they run their business. So, and that can take an hour or two. It just depends on how involved we would have to be, and then also bringing in other people to do an assessment. So if it's the packaging specialist or an automation specialist or maybe a vendor, and getting their schedule and the vendor schedule and my schedule. And so it can be very challenging. And I think that sometimes they are frustrated by that. But in the end, when they see the end result, it's always been so positive.
That's awesome.
So
that's great to hear. Have you ever, has there a customer ever asked you for something that you're like, well, I don't even know what you're talking, I'm going to have to check on that, or I don't even know if that's legal or anything. Is there anything that surprised you?
Not really. I've definitely been into some interesting customers. It's like a field trip every day, right? Like you go in and you have no idea what to expect.
Right.
But so I have definitely been into some interesting ones in the past. And there have been a few that I do not feel are a good fit for our company.
Do they keep calling you? Wouldn't that be nice? That would. That's great. That's awesome.
But you have to feel comfortable too, and you have to make sure that they're a right fit.
I never thought of it that way, but of course a salesperson would be like, "Ugh, this customer, he keeps calling me. I need to block his number."
No, that can definitely happen. No, for sure.
I love it. So we talked a little bit about this well, hell, before this podcast even started, but you live in Orlando.
Yes.
So you are the epicenter of just the happiest place on earth, right?
Right. Yes.
Have you? You had 3 boys though, so you were more of a Universal Studios family than a Disney World family, right?
Yes, absolutely. Superheroes and it was a lot closer to our home. It was 10 minutes away,
Yeah.
So it was. They were very much into that, especially little. They loved the superheroes, so we definitely spent a lot of time at Universal
Superheroes
Studios.
and really just like kind of scary kind of roller coasters,
Yes.
like real deal, not
Yes.
Disney roller coasters
Right.
that are kind of family friendly. I mean, there's roller coasters there that'll make
Like
you
the Hulk.
nervous.
That's the best one.
Is it good?
Yes, it's very good.
The last time I went there, I was with a group of friends, and we were all in our 30s or 40s or whatever. And I don't know what it was, but it was a huge roller coaster right as you walk into the place, and it looked like it had a fairly. And no one in the group wanted to do it. And I said, well, I mean, we're here. Why are we not going to do this? So I just did the singles line, and I got on.
Yeah.
I got on immediately. I was like, well, I should be doing this all the time.
Yes.
I felt kind of odd because it was just me and like a teenage girl, and I was like, "All right, you ready for this? Here we go."
Let's do it.
Yeah, it was fun.
And you were probably more scared than her.
I probably screamed at higher pitched than she did. All right, but Orlando. So you're not completely like you don't have mouse ears in the car. Or
I
anything
don't.
Like that.
No, absolutely not. But I do like all of the Disney movies. So
Yeah, they're good.
And we've done Fort Wilderness. We did do that one year with the boys, and they love that. You
Like,
can go
did
camping.
you camp there?
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
It is.
You can have your motorhome or tents, or they have little cabins, and
Yes.
yeah,
We were a little bougie. We did the RV.
that's kind of glamping.
Yeah.
And it's not. I mean, just for an RV spot, I mean, it's kind of expensive. I mean, it's not
yeah.
like you're saving any money there.
Yeah,
But,
not really. But they have everything. They have all of the hookups. They have showers. They have all of the things.
And then pools and everything for the kids.
And then you can take a little boat over to the Cosmopolitan or to some other hotel
Right.
to either have lunch or to play games or whatever. So it's nice.
Oh yeah, I guess you could do, but it's not real close to where you live.
No, it's like 45 minutes from where I live. Yeah.
What's the average? We just got out of living in Louisville, Kentucky, like myself. And I don't remember this. It's been decades and decades since we've had a snow as bad as we just had, and that it lasted as long. Normally, we'll get a snow, but it'll happen in like March, and it'll be melted, within 2 days. But this thing clung around for like 3 weeks, right? But Florida just got some snow. I mean, in the Panhandle, but
so crazy.
But normally, what's your kind of median temperature? It's always
80.
Okay.
Like I feel like it's 80 on Christmas. It's of course it gets very hot in the summertime,
right.
90s and 100s, but it's really pretty perfect.
And actually, winter and fall are kind of the great
gorgeous.
times because they're not. It's like in the 70s all the time, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. It's the best.
Well, next time we do this podcast, I'm coming to you then.
All right, that sounds great. Yep.
Well, Jessica, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
I enjoyed talking to you. I feel like I got a little more insight into sales than I normally do. So, and I think that was more because of you than me.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. Jessica Anderson, everyone, supply chain specialist for Premier Packaging. I am your host of The Whole Package by Premier Packaging, Billy Watkins. Until next time, bye-bye.
Do you have comments, questions, or ideas about this topic? If so, we'd like to hear from you. Please visit primpack.com/podcast to let us know what you think. Thanks.